So after we get the ending, we get to start all over. Once, at least once, we're going to start completely from scratch, just so you know what it was like playing this back on the original DS. So will the crews improve a second time? Who knows?
What the? Ow!
We have seen this before. Luckily, you get this button. And we've seen all this in novel mode, I believe.
Where?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Am I? Wait, it stopped? What's that sound?
I knew it.
That's... Five? What's this 5 mean? Ah, it won't open. What's this? Is this keeping the door shut? Hey! Open the door!
Okay. I'm going to this first just to demonstrate something. There is a reason. I'm not just subjecting this to you, subjecting you to this, for, no reason whatsoever. Also need my notepad. Anyway. As far as I can tell, this does not change in the least. Yeah. So anyway... Good. That still works. But yeah, to play this on the original DS, you had to basically do all the rooms every time. In other words, you would start completely over. And back. Screwdriver. Back.
Should probably hold on to this. Huh. Oh, what's up with my... I look like a zombie. Man, how did I end up here? I left work, and... I'm back. Not like it. Man, work was rough today.
So I know we skipped this last time. Basically, it goes, he stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered, blah, blah, blah. Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before, then tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however.
Huh? A breeze.
The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the cold wind.
Huh, that's weird. Did I leave that open?
Junpei walked towards the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He'd stuck his head out and looked around.
Everything looks okay. I must have forgotten to close it.
Yes, he did say I'm back when he lives on his own. He closed the window. Then it happened.
What?
Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden.
Who are...
Suddenly, he couldn't finish. Junpei tried to yell, but all he could manage was a strangled croak.
I can't...
Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs, like a discarded puppet. Too late, he noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well, a white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision. Jigsaw is not a bad analogy for this guy.
A privilege. You have been chosen.
A rasping voice wormed its way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh, and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on.
You are going to participate in a game. The memory game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him, the masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist.
That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. When I get my hands on him...
He ground his teeth in frustration and strained to remember anything about his attacker's figure.
Well, I guess there's no way to know if that was a man or not.
The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak.
Just who was that? They said, you have been chosen.
What it might mean, that was beyond him.
What the hell is going on? Why me?
There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important.
You are going to participate in a game. The nunnery game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
The nonary game. Huh.
What the hell is a nonary game? God damn it!
With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Code. Okay. 7. I do not remember the numbers, sorry. There we go. Blah de blah de blah. Put the key in the keyhole. I like Hawaiian pizza. Let's not get into the whole tomatoes being a fruit or vegetable argument that we had back in Stardew Valley, please. Hello. Unfortunately, it's still going to make you do this. Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out of the room and into the opposing wall. Smack.
Ow!
The water tossed and turned him like a washing machine, and he only stopped rolling when he hit his head on the wall.
My head. Wait, is it over? Whew. That felt too much like being flushed down a toilet. Damn.
Junpei struggled to his feet in the still rushing water.
Well, better than drowning, I guess. Am I in a hallway?
The water that had followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out of the door. It flowed quickly down the hallway and slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs.
Oh.
Just 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of this short staircase...
A door. Another door. Damn this water. Ugh. Let me go.
Junpei leapt up the stairs, straight for the door.
Yes, it opened.
The door burst open, and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there have been to what he saw?
What? What the hell?
His voice trailed off, and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him, ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s.
This is the inside of a ship?
Junpei couldn't help but wonder.
Well...
The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally, Wait, what the hell? A wave? Oh, shit! Shit! Okay, I gotta get out of here.
Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran towards a tremendous staircase in front of him.
C deck.
Junpei is a man that talks to himself a whole lot.
B deck.
I haven't been to CC's in years. Then again, I've been doing more Marcos and Hideaway than other chains, so anyway.
Hurry! Hurry!
As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship.
A deck's next.
He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he'd find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead...
What?
Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye.
People.
He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more.
A lot of people.
All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They'd stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step, in the middle of a stride. Who were these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The woman spoke to Junpei, and time began to move again.
I guess it's another one of us now.
A dancer?
The woman was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little, and her prodigious jewelry little more.
No, I'm not. You better get moving.
With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei and toward the doors behind him.
Okay then.
The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. We have covered that Junpei is mostly an idiot, right? He's mostly an idiot, just in case. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman.
Silver hair? Huh?
Yeah, Clover looks better in 999. I will say that. The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance in Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering.
One of us, huh?
What?
Nothing.
Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of gray in his hair. His hair looks almost half gray at this point. I don't think he's wisp of gray. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion.
Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open.
Wait, hold on. The doors won't open?
The next to speak to Junpei was a girl with pink hair and a high voice.
Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry!
Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he were sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene, and he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and Junpei couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like.
That's 9 of us then. All of the cards are in hand.
And she doesn't look the least bit homicidal right now, does she? What does that mean? Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him.
Wait! They're gone. Just what is going on? There's an old man like a lion, a girl with pink hair, and a prince, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
Once again, he's pretty much just talking to himself here. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running towards him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him. Also voiced by Cam Clark. I don't know why they went with Cam Clark for that character, but okay. And the other was a veritable mountain of a man. I still call him Beaker.
Ah!
The scrawny one scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something.
What was that all about?
Hey! What the hell are you just standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors on A deck are no good. We gotta check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go!
Before he had the chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way. Thrown off balance by the man and recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running towards.
Hey, man, that was dangerous.
Huh?
There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right...
4? And this one says... 5.
They're the same.
The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself.
The room I woke up in had a number on the door just like that.
You too, eh?
With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver.
My cell was the same. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room full of stairs, as I suspected the rest of you.
It was as though the floodgates had been opened. They all began to talk at once.
Me too.
Same for me. There was a door with a number on it.
It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They'd all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they'd been guided there.
Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry.
You think I don't know that lady?
Before the dancer had time to finish, Silver was already running.
Open! Damn it!
He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However,
Fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge.
Out of my way!
the mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back, then threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but shows no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again.
A body
Because he
slam
doesn't
from a guy
learn.
that big didn't even budge it. There must be some other way.
Junpei turned towards door 4. Next to the door, on the wall, was a small box.
This looks just like the device next to the door in that room earlier. So that means this door is probably locked too. But still...
He had to check. Junpei grabbed a handle and threw all of his weight into it. It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he'd suspected.
Damn it!
Junpei punched the door. It did not respond.
Are there any other doors?
He'd barely finished the thought when the C-deck plate he'd passed on the way up sprang, unbidden, to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back towards the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, I'm pretty sure it's equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he'd met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well.
Huh?
Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly towards her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped into her landing, the spell broke. No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. The quake caught the girl unprepared, and she fell.
Watch out!
Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her. Or so he thought.
Oh,
Equally silly. Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own.
Yeah.
He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't recovered fully from seeing him. For a moment that seemed to stretch for a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last, the girl opened her mouth.
Oh my gosh! Is that you, Jumpy?
Jumpy. Jumpy. Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned.
Akane.
Why hadn't he realized it before? Because heat of the moment. Only saw her for a couple seconds. The girl was Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? Her soft eyes were only inches away from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he'd thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room.
What?
What's that voice?
They hurriedly untangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their 7 companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces had gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last, they found it. A speaker set in the ceiling. Yes, this is all the prelude to Trivia Murder Party. This is all the stuff that happens before you never saw. The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static.
This is...
Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it?
Guy in the gas mask! Hey, asshole! What the hell is this? Come on out here. I want to get a look at you.
What do you mean to do to us?
Yeah, but how do you think you get to the basement?
Nonary game.
What the hell's that?
The voice continued, implacable. But yeah, how do you get to the dentist's office in the first place? Come on now. Gotta get them there somewhere, and what better way than on a luxury ship?
What is he talking about?
Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out.
Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt the telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from his earlier ordeal.
Hey, I got one too.
Then it would seem Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man?
His request had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked.
On this ship, you will find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them the numbered doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these numbered doors are the numbered bracelets that each of you possess. Should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. So this thing on my arm is a bracelet.
He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and come to much the same conclusion.
The purpose of the game is simple. Leave this ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found.
I'm going to say is there's going to be a lot of water damage to all this wood.
Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
There's one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, this ship has begun to sink. On April 14, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into Earthworm. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 days, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time. 9 hours. That is the time you will be given to make your escape.
The voice finished, and the speaker went silent.
I hear a bell. I think it's coming from over by the stairs.
It's the clock telling us the time.
Everyone had their eyes on the antique clock embedded in the wall. Embedded. Yeah. Seven, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bell faded away. The 10th never came.
It rang 9 times, so 9 o'clock then?
I think it's 9 p.m. I couldn't see anything when I tried looking out the window earlier. It has to be nighttime.
If that is the case, then we would need to escape by 6 a.m. tomorrow.
How many timelines do you think we're going to be dealing with here? The speaker went silent and did not speak again.
Hey! You bastard! What do you mean by that? Come out here, you asshole!
That guy won't stop shouting. And the others. Ugh.
9 timelines. But can you do it 9 times?
Whew.
Junpei, too, was consumed by his thoughts.
I have way too many questions. Who is Zero? What's the nonary game? What's it for? Is he some nutjob just doing this to mess with us, or does he have some other purpose? And why pick me to be part of this insane game? And the others? Why are these 8 people here? And the most confusing of them all. Why is Akane here?
Technically, that's part of the last question, dude.
I haven't seen her since elementary school. Why her? Why now? Coincidence? No. There's no way. There has to be a reason. I don't know what exactly, but there has to be.
Very well.
The lion's voice seemed oddly loud in the silence.
Standing around here won't do us any good. Best we get moving, don't you think?
Get moving?
Are you planning to open the numbered doors? Hey, wait!
Yes, 666 does have a digital root of 9.
But don't tell me you're actually gonna do what this Zero says.
No, that's not what I mean.
The lion shook his head, mildly annoyed.
I'm saying let's find another way. After all, we haven't really examined this place yet.
We... what?
Where have we not looked? Everyone searched A-Deck already, right?
Yeah, we were kind of in a rush though, so we probably missed some things.
Why don't we check out the lower floors first? We should see how deep this place goes.
I can work with that.
Then let's go.
Whoa!
Monokuma will show up in about a year.
What the hell? It's completely submerged.
Damn. If the water level keeps rising like this, we're all gonna drown.
No, I don't believe that's something we have to worry about.
About a year, yep. The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it.
See? The water's not flowing. That means the origin of the water has been stopped. Perhaps this Zero fellow has used some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down.
No, I can't clarify.
He said that our time limit was 9 hours.
It will become clear as the games progress. That's all I'm going to say.
In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours.
And you're saying we won't sink till then?
Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point to wishful thinking.
That's depressing.
If we don't determine a way to advance from this point, we are stuck on A-Deck and C-Deck.
Looks that way.
Hey, hold on. How about we check C-Deck before we jump to any conclusions? We might find something there.
Huh, you're right. I think we should look at the metal doors by the big staircase, too. They're pretty suspicious.
No numbers on either door. And I don't see an authentication device either. Nope. It's locked.
This one too. Damn, none of the doors are opening.
Hey guys, over here. There's another door behind the stairs.
This one doesn't open either.
Technically, this could be Danganronpa 0.5. I think. I forgot exactly what year the Danganronpa games take place in.
We'll see about that. Hey, old man, give me a hand.
Using force, I see. Let's give it a try.
Ah, versus, okay.
It won't budge.
Could you not just start shouting out of nowhere? You almost gave me a heart attack, you know.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't appear to have moved even with two of us trying. It's very well made.
Idiots. Try using your brain first.
Huh?
Take a closer look.
A keyhole?
Right. It's obvious what we need to open this door.
A key, huh?
You got a problem?
No, I just really doubt we'll find a key that easily.
Ignoring the tense air between the two, Junpei moved closer to examine the doorknob.
What's this?
Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot.
There's a mark on it. Does it mean something?
Hey, look! Over here, too!
Hmm?
Pink Hair was looking at double doors they hadn't examined yet.
More doors.
I think they're elevators. There's an inverted triangle button by them.
May as well try pressing it. Huh. Nothing.
So if everyone has something nasty to hide, what is Junpei hiding?
Maybe the power isn't on.
Or we need to do something with this card reader. And there's a strange mark here, too. What is this? It looks like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the H.
Junpei stared at it for a while.
This is the symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol.
Then the mark on the other door.
I think that was the sun symbol.
An axe rampage is very likely.
We saw the same symbols on A deck.
We did?
And how dense he actually is, yeah. And the fact that he's on a ship that's sinking is not doing them any favors there.
I don't remember that.
A deck, huh? I haven't been there, so I wouldn't know.
We may as well check again since we're talking about it.
Lion's words urged them on, and they took the stairs up.
There, the two doors next to the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it.
She's right. It looks similar to what we saw downstairs.
This is an Earth symbol. The horizontal line symbolizes the equator, and the vertical one represents the prime meridian.
I see.
Junpei looked up at the ceiling.
The ceiling. Metal plates. Huh. It's as if it's covering something up.
Perhaps it was a dome of some kind.
I wish we could get out through there.
Be realistic. We'd need a lot of explosives to open that up.
The windows, too. Huh. They're all covered.
There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They, too, were covered with metal plates.
In other words... we're trapped. All the exits go nowhere.
Junpei was not happy. The girl with pink hair spoke up.
Well, I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them.
Clover doesn't look like she's wearing a bra. Or at least not anyone that's going to be anything visible under those clothes. You're getting ahead of yourself there, Dark Flame. Then the mountain spoke.
You don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls or take us in circles.
The prince did not agree.
No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, 2 of them at least.
Oh, you mean the numbered doors.
Are those actually earmuffs? I didn't pay attention to that closely. All eyes turned towards the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that.
The dancer moved in front of the doors, as if to block them.
We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do.
Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once.
May as well give it a shot. We can't stay here forever.
Yes, I'm in favor as well.
No, I'm totally against this.
But shouldn't we at least try?
I don't know. For some reason, I always thought they were like a head wrap or something.
We don't know what'll happen. We should stay here.
Why Lotus is wearing that getup? According to the developer of the game, that is the style she prefers. That's it. That's the only reason ever given.
We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, this ship is going to sink.
The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. Yeah, I don't buy it either, but that's exactly what the developer has said about Lotus's outfit. Their arguments grew more and more intense until the people were shouting and screaming at one another.
Hey! Shut up!
They fell silent, and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. Actually, I think what I recall from Alice is she's playing up the bit. She actually has a slightly less ridiculous reason, but it kind of goes into what she does in a lot of spoiler territory for Virtue's Last Reward.
Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do.
What's that?
We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too.
They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. It was Akane.
I agree. I think Jumpy is right.
Jumpy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about him. I just call him Jumpy. His name is Junpei.
She pointed towards Junpei.
We're childhood
Don't pull
friends.
that.
We went to the same elementary school.
Wait, stop! Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zero's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in?
Oh, would that be bad?
Hell yeah, it would! We don't know how much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had them to get us to do stuff, you know?
But we still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names.
Alright, then why don't we have code names?
To him, apparently it seemed like the obvious solution.
Code names?
Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7.
7? Why are you 7?
It seemed a fair question. The mountain stuck out his left arm.
Because this bracelet number says 7.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
He smirked.
Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, San means 3. So, I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think?
Yeah, no beard.
Then your bracelet number.
Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa.
Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the face of his bracelet read 3.
Very well then. I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate.
I'll be Lotus then. As I'm sure you all know, it has 8 petals. Which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8.
I would appreciate it if you would call me Snake.